Manhunt. Manhunt is a survival horror stealth game created by Rockstar Games, which is the same company known for the Grand Theft Auto series. In this game, players control a man who has been sentenced to death, but is forced into a bizarre situation where he must kill dangerous criminals while being filmed. The main focus of the game is sneaking up on enemies and performing executions using objects that can be obtained through the surroundings, such as crowbars, glass shards, and even plastic bags. The game uses dark, eerie environments, disturbing sound effects, and different camera angles which made the violence feel very real and uncomfortable to many players. This realistic and graphic style for its time is the main reason Manhunt was banned in many countries. Game critics, and even the government themselves, believed that the game went too far by showing violence in detail, and its mechanics of rewarding players for brutal actions went too far. Some people even blamed the game for inspiring real-life crimes, which increased public fear and concern, especially for young children. As of now, Manhunt is not commonly sold in stores, but it is available digitally in some countries, where its main player base are usually adults who understand and can handle its mature content, making Manhunt one of the most discussed controversial game in gaming history. GTA San Andreas. San Andreas is an open-world action game set in a fictional version of California during the early 1990s. Players control CJ, or Carl Johnson, who returns home after his mother's death, where he quickly becomes involved in gang life, crime, and police corruption. The game gives players huge freedom over the world, allowing them to explore cities, drive different vehicles, customize their character, and complete various missions in many ways. While the game already had an adult rating due to violence and crime, it became banned or removed from stores after hidden sexual content known as the Hot Coffee mini-game was discovered through mods, which, to put simply, allowed Carl Johnson to engage in sexual intercourses with his girlfriends. Although the content was not meant to be accessed by casual players, many government officials and parents felt that the developers were hiding inappropriate and explicit materials in the game, which then caused the game's rating to be changed and forced a massive recall from store shelves. Later on, Rockstar released updated versions that entirely removed the hidden content. Today, San Andreas is fully available again. Even though it is still rated for adults, it is often proclaimed as one of the best video games ever made, as it heavily influenced gaming history. Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat is a fighting game where players choose from a cast of characters and battle each other using punches, kicks, and special attacks. When it was released in the early 1990s, it shocked the public because of how it used realistic graphics at the time, using real actors whose every movement was captured and digitized. But the main star that stole the show was the finishing moves, which are called fatalities. These moves showed defeated opponents being violently killed, which was very unusual and unsettling for many players at the time. Because of this, Mortal Kombat was banned or heavily censored in several countries, as it caused a massive outrage among worried parents. The controversy became so serious that it led to government hearings about video game violence. As a result, the video game industry created the ESRB rating system to help parents understand what kind of content is included in a game. Over the years, Mortal Kombat continued to grow as a series, which still became more detailed and more violent. It also stated clearly that the content is strictly labeled for mature players. Today, Mortal Kombat is a popular and respected franchise over the world. While it still contains graphic violence, it is no longer widely banned, as it now shows its age rating, which warns players of what content they are going to be shown. Postal 2. Postal 2 is an open-world first-person game known for its dark humor and offensive content, where players control a character called the Postal Dude, who must complete simple daily tasks like buying milk or returning books. But these tasks can take a violent turn depending on how the player acts. The game allows players to attack civilians, use drugs, and perform violent actions without serious consequences. Because of this, Postal 2 was banned in several countries. Critics argued that the game encouraged harmful behaviors and had no clear message or moral lesson to the players whatsoever. The game was also criticized for its crude jokes and offensive themes, where fans of the game claimed it was meant to be satire and not taken seriously. As of today, Postal 2 still remains controversial, but is widely available for purchase on different platforms and also has a small but loyal fan base. The game is now often used as an example of how video games can push boundaries and challenge certain themes about what should or should not be allowed in games. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2 is a first-person shooter game that focuses on modern military battles paired with cinematic storytelling, making it one of the most successful games in the Call of Duty series. However, one mission in the game called No Russian caused massive global controversy due to its graphic and disturbing content. In this mission, players participate in a terrorist attack at an airport where many innocent civilians are killed, placing them directly in the middle of a violent and shocking scenario which deeply affected older players. Although the mission was intended to show the horror of terrorism and make players feel uncomfortable, many people felt it crossed a line. As a result, the game was heavily censored or banned in several countries, including Russia, which also sparked multiple public debates. Later on, the mission was altered or completely removed in some versions and is still often discussed about how far storytelling should go in video games. Still, Modern Warfare 2 remains one of the most well-known games in the series, and despite the controversy, it is widely respected for its impact on the shooter genre. Wolfenstein 3D. Wolfenstein 3D is one of the earliest first-person shooter games and played a major role in shaping modern video games. In the game, players fight their way through enemy-filled levels while escaping a Nazi-controlled fortress. The use of Nazi symbols, imagery, and references caused the game to be banned or censored in Germany, where certain laws strictly limit the display of Nazi-related content. Because of this, many versions of the game removed these symbols or completely changed their designs to comply with regulations. Despite the controversy, Wolfenstein 3D became extremely influential and inspired many future shooter games by introducing fast-paced combat and a first-person perspective which defined many gameplay mechanics that are used in shooter games today. As of now, it is considered a classic and is mainly played by people interested in gaming history, where it came to a point that the game is now more remembered for its impact on modern games rather than the controversy it faced in the past. Pokémon Red and Blue. Pokémon Red and Blue are role-playing games where players travel through a world capturing creatures called Pokémon, where players train them to become much more stronger and use them to battle with other trainers. The games were designed primarily for children and quickly became a worldwide phenomenon, which also attracted players of all ages. However, the games were temporarily banned in Saudi Arabia due to concerns about gambling-like mechanics and religious misunderstandings. Some officials believed that the game promoted gambling because the battles involved elements of luck and featured a collection system where players encounter and capture different creatures through pure chance. Over time, these claims were re-evaluated and the ban was lifted after further review. As of today, the series grew and it became clearer that the core focus of the games was strategy and exploration rather than gambling. Still, despite the controversy, Pokémon Red and Blue are remembered as classic games that started one of the most successful franchises in history. The series is now known for promoting friendship, teamwork, and adventure, and it is widely accepted as family-friendly entertainment around the world. Hatred. Hatred is a top-down shooter game where players control a character whose only goal is to kill as many people as possible because of his hatred for humanity. The game uses dark visuals, disturbing dialogues, and non-stop violence with no positive goal or moral lesson whatsoever. Because of this, many countries and digital stores refused to sell the game, and it was banned or restricted in several countries. Critics said that the game focused solely on violence and shock value and did not offer a meaningful story, where fans, however, argued it was an expression of creative freedom. As of today, Hatred is still available for purchase on some platforms, but still remains one of the most highly controversial games ever released, where it is rarely known for its gameplay, but more remembered mainly for the outrage it caused surrounding its release.